Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Today we kick off Konrad Curze week, a week dedicated to the Primarch of the Night Lords Legion. And where better to begin than with where is Konrad Curze. Before we begin, a huge thank you to Damon for the virtual gift voucher. It's really appreciated, my friend. Thank you very much. Especially with all the great novels and codex supplements that are coming out right now. It's really appreciated. On that note, I've received a few more messages regarding Patreon. So for those that may be newer viewers or subscribers to the channel, I do not have Patreon. For now, I just want to keep working to improve the channel before I consider anything like that. I appreciate you guys just viewing and subscribing, I really do. But for those who really want to help give extra support, there's always a link in the video descriptions to the Games Workshop virtual gift vouchers. Just drop the channel email in there, wolflordrho@gmail.com, and that way you know you are contributing to the channel and I'm not using money for something else. But if you do this, please include your name or something in the note so I can say thank you. But with that out the way, general spoiler warning to begin. We will be discussing events from the Horus Heresy timeline as always, just to catch us up with what happened to Konrad at the end of the Heresy. But with that said, let's jump straight in. So, Konrad Curze, Primarch of the Night Lords. As we know, by the time the Heresy happened, Curze was already on tricky ground. His brutal tactics during the Crusade had brought him into many disagreements with a lot of his brothers. He still respected some of them. He even loved a few of them. But he only hated one of them, Corax of the Raven Guard. He hated the Primarch of the Raven Guard. The two Primarchs, very similar in a lot of aspects. Looks, the upbringing they struggled through. But unlike Curze, Corax had retained a lot of his humanity and dignity despite this tough upbringing. And Curze, well, he despised that, but he didn't hate that. It was that he felt Corax owned the shadows, whereas he only haunted them. How much more a perfect monster would he have been had he truly owned the shadows like Corax? It's definitely a what if scenario, or a what could have been had the two Primarchs been able to spend maybe just a little more time together, or if Curze wasn't quite the tortured soul that he was. And that's definitely something I'm going to cover over the course of this week, because it's a really interesting relationship between the two. Continuing, Curze was quick to side with Horus, revealing his treachery at the Istvan massacre, where he betrayed his loyal brothers Corax, Ferrus Manus and Vulcan, even coming to the aid of Lorgar, who was about to be slain by an enraged Corax. From there we know he took his brother Vulcan prisoner, torturing and slaying his brother multiple times before Vulcan's eventual escape. After this, Curze was tasked with taking on the Dark Angels and Lion L. Johnson in what became known as the Framus Crusade. After months of keeping the line to a stalemate, Curze requested a meeting with his brother, even asking for a final talk in private, which they did. What words transpired between them, well, only them two will ever know. But there did appear to be some sorrow still within Curze at this point. The two parts of his personality, Konrad and the Night Haunter, still battling for control of him. Inevitably, the Lion and Curze did come to blows, and Konrad actually came out more the victor in this first confrontation, only being stopped from strangling his brother by the intervention of one of the Dark Angels, thrusting his sword into Curze's back. The next fight with the Lion, however, well, that didn't go so well. The Lion beat him into a coma with 11 clear wounds that each would have killed a normal Astartes. Curze languished in a coma while his legion took a pounding from the Dark Angels. Eventually, of course, he awakened and became heavily involved in the events that transpired in Rabute Guilliman's unremembered empire, the Imperium Secundus. Managing to get there by stowing away aboard the Lion's flagship, he sowed mayhem as only Curze could, even fighting Guilliman and the Lion at the same time. and he held his own extremely well, really proving that Curze is definitely among consideration for the top tier Primarch fighters. He gets overlooked a lot due to his reputation of fear and being unorthodox, but he goes toe to toe with two of his brothers. That's worth consideration. By this time, Curze was truly beginning to lose the battle for his own mind and start to really lose his sanity. He sought out a conversation with his brother Sanguinius, who also is gifted with the same prophecy that he had. Yet whereas Curze had turned against his father, Sanguinius remained loyal, and that just completely confounded Curze. He just didn't understand, and it actually almost was the beginning of a very interesting relationship between Curze and Sanguinius, on opposing sides, yet related by blood and their gifts. They shared very interesting outlook that none of the other Primarchs could understand, and it's clear between many of their interactions together. I'll definitely cover that this week as well. But after this, we really get to Curze's last real action within the heresy, a final duel with his brother the Lion once again. Third time's the charm almost, and this time, unfortunately, Curze lost again, with the Lion only sparing his brother's life by snapping his back and taking Curze prisoner. But it was while taking Curze prisoner that his gift of prophecy truly helped them realise that not only did Terra still stand, but the Emperor still lived. It was not too late. So of course, they set up to try and breach the Ruinstorm and head back to Terra, and they took Curze with them, using him as an almost prophet, if you will, to try and help them breach the Ruinstorms that spread across the galaxy, stopping them from making it to Terra. And we get a little fantastic snippet during this time of Curze displaying a moment of genuine concern when it appears his brother Sanguinius may die. So despite all of it, despite everything, still some of that Konrad existed inside, and it's clear he still cared for his brother. And Sanguinius, for his part, clearly had some of that too. Rather than ending Curze, he put him in a stasis capsule and ejected him out into the void of space, telling Konrad that he will just simply have to wait to meet his fate. And well, that's exactly what Curze did. The end came for Curze at the hands of the Imperial assassin that he had awaited for his entire life, as he had foreseen throughout his entire life. He ordered his sons to let the assassin reach him. Curze had been obsessed with this destiny throughout his life. The object of fate had completely consumed him. And now there's actually been a lot of debate on the death of Konrad among some of the fan base, and this largely comes from the vidlog of the Primarch's last moments. The last words of Nighthaunter stand as one of the great enigmas of Imperial history. The final confrontation between the twisted Primarch and the avenging angel, sitting in a pool of shadow upon a throne made from the fused bones of his victims, a carpet of screaming faces leading up to bare, gnarled feet, sits Nighthaunter himself. His madness and hate radiate from him, palpable even through such a remote medium as a vidlog, her face reflected in his impassive, jet black eyes. Long moments pass. Then, in a voice thick with contempt and pain, Nighthaunter speaks. "Your presence does not surprise me, assassin. I have known of you ever since your craft entered the eastern fringes. Why did I not have you killed? Because your mission and the act you are about to commit proves the truth of all I have ever said or done. I merely punished those who had wronged, just as your false emperor now seeks to punish me. Death is nothing compared to vindication." The vidlog blurs for a fraction of a second as the assassin leaps forward. The last image in the recording is of dark, staring eyes brimming with madness above a lipless smile, before the recording shorts out. Now, obviously, if you were to go with this alone, you can understand the debate. As with most Primarchs, it's left with that element of doubt. In this case, the vidlog shorting out just as the assassin leaps at him. However, now again, spoiler warning, in the Konrad Curze Primarch novel recently released, it ends with the door opening and Curze determined to accept his fate, to die at the hands of the assassin. He believes this vindicates everything he has ever done. It would be a major departure from the law if that he were to be alive out there somewhere. The last moments of his life approached. Curze fancied he heard the grains of time run out. The door opened and death stepped within. It's pretty conclusive, and in the Night Lords trilogy written by ADB, it's confirmed Curze died at the hands of the assassin, who decapitated him and took the head with her. Now yes, this book is fairly old now, going back a few editions, but there have been no official retcons, so it still stands as far as we know that Curze is dead. Now here is the beauty of the lore. If you don't want to believe Curze is dead, then you don't have to. We are all free to interpret the lore however we want. And hey look, we've seen Sanguinius and Ferrus make appearances since their death in some form or another. So who's to say the Night Haunter won't have this one day? Yes, Curze is dead, but hey, like I said, if you don't want to believe that, you don't have to. But what do you guys think? Do you love Konrad Curze or do you not? Do you think he's amazing, doesn't get the praise he needs, or do you think he's overrated? As always, drop your thoughts in the comments below. I love to read them. As always, a huge thank you to all my subscribers. Your support really means a lot to me. And if you're new, then please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. If you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too? But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.